Wilsonville qualification 57. Elevators up on the Blue Alliance and the Red Alliance. One coral up for red, one coral up for blue. But Blue Alliance 1540 manages to get a second one. Meanwhile, 3674 over on the Red Alliance gets a second on that fourth level, but doesn't quite make it in time for the third. But they do manage to get it as the drivers take control of the robots. The Engineer is trying to pull a piece of algae off of the reef before going over and causing chaos over on the red side of the field. They're going to try to stick their way in between 3674, the Cloverbots, and their human player, positioning themselves quite nicely. But 3674 Cloverbots decide that they don't want to deal with it, and they go over to the other human player. Meanwhile, the other Catlin Gable school on the other side of the field, lining up to some coral that's on the ground and delivering it to the fourth level. They line up, it's good. Their alliance partner, not so much, but they are going to try again over from the human player station. They line up, it's in the robot. Elevator up, lining up, and it's not quite on. Eventually, aimbot will get it up there. Meanwhile, on the red side of the field, X-Flare swerving around their alliance partners to go grab some more algae on the side of the field before delivering it to the processor. It ends up falling out of the robot, but they're going to go back and attempt a second one here. Arm up around the reef, and they're going to have to do a little dance around Cardinal Dynamics. Cardinal does a little spin of acknowledgement as they are leaving. Over on the blue side of the field, aimbot seems to have figured out their lineup, and now the top of the reef on the blue side of the field is filled. 1540, the Flaming Chickens, elevator up, and they have scored on the third level with that coral. Meanwhile, the Red Alliance has now sent a defender, 6696, who we've been primarily seeing as an offensive robot for this competition, is now going and playing defense on the blue side of the field. They are positioning themselves in between the Alliance station and 1540, the Flaming Chickens, as we enter the end game period. Climber has been deployed for the aimbot machine, and the Engineer's human player absolutely loading up the blue barge with algae. 1540, the Flaming Chickens still lining up with that Climber. Aimbot's up in the air, X-Flare's up in the air, Cloverbot's up in the air, and 1540, the Flaming Chickens just on the ground at the end of the match. Preliminary scores 141 to 140. This could go either direction, and we'll have your final scores to you in a moment. Let's take a look at your final scores for qualification 57, if the FMS decides that it wants to cooperate with us this morning. There it goes. Your winner, the Red Alliance, separated by just a few points, 166 to 157 in favor of that Red Alliance. 5 ranking points being taken home, 1 for the auto, 1 for the barge.